Hello student, welcome to my channel LP. Now we have been learning about the lesson number 4 of Geography Exogenetic Processes part 2nd and standard 10. In the first part of the same lesson we have learned the erosional, depositional and transportation work that is done by river as well as the glacier. Now in this part we are going to turn and learn about the erosional work of the winds and the landforms produced by it. So let us begin with it. Work of the wind and the landforms produced. Now you have learned earlier that the movement of air is called wind. This is the simplest definition. The movement of air is called wind. Now wind is a gaseous agent of erosion. The erosional, transportation and deposition work of wind is more prominent in desert and semi-arid region. So this is a very important line. The erosional, transportation and deposition work of the wind is more prominent. So where it is exactly prominent and dominant in desert and semi-arid regions, as mechanical weathering occurs on a large scale here. So powdered rock and sand spread over a large area. So the powder formed due to the rock. It is the effect of the wind. Let us see. Now this can be seen as a powdered rock. So water rock form in the powder shape. Now you can see the various forms. As a mechanical weathering occurs on large scale here, so powdered rock and sand spread over a large area. There is hardly any obstacle in the transportation work of the wind. Sand particles also get transported along with the wind and they are carried over a longer distance and get deposited where they spread, where the speed of the wind reduces. In this way, the wind does the work of erosion, transportation and deposition. Erosional work of wind. Now wind carries small sand particles, small pebbles, etc. along with it. So these particles cause erosion along rock coming in the way due to the friction. So this continuously effect of friction, and as there is no obstacle, so the speed affects on that particular objects and this particle cause erosions. So this lead to the formation of mushroom rocks, deflation hollows and Yardang. Let us see. Now this is called as a mushroom rock. You can see the figure. At the very bottom there is abrasion is greatest near the base, that is the erosion work of the particular rock at the base is high. Why? Due to the speed of the wind, and at the heaviest objects which are carrying through wind is getting obstacle here and they continuously doing the erosional work. So therefore the base we can see. At the bottom we can see the size is reduced, but at the top it is increased. Why? Because at the base it is strong. As we go on the top, middle and the top, it just get increased. And also it depends on the type of rock which is it. If suppose it is a hard rock, then this erosional work is decreased, and if it is a soft rock, then it is increased work. It keeps on hampering and affected. And here is how it gets the mushroom rock. The shape, as it is got the shape of mushroom, so therefore it is called as a mushroom rock. Now again the next one, which is deflation hollows. Now you can see the work of deflation hollows. It is a continuous. See, underlying basin structure within rock is covered by a thick accumulated of sand. So this stage number 1, and in a stage number 2 what happens? The strong wind remove some of the loose material to reveal part of the basin shape. The strong wind, it removes some of the loose material and it takes it away, and it transports and deposits in other way and form the other landforms. Let us see. The next we have the picture of Yardang. As we all are looking, these are the erosional work of the winds and the formation of the mushroom rocks, deflation and Yardang. So this is called Yardang. The same figure is given in the textbook as well. How it affects less resistant rock? It depends on the direction of the wind. If suppose the direction on the direction of the wind is horizontal in this way, let us look. If it is in this way, horizontal way, then of course the erosional work is decreased. But if it is opposed, if it moves through this way, see this, then the gap is formed. This is undercut by wind abrasion. This part is undercut by the wind abrasion, that is erosional work, and the Yardang is formed in the direction of prevailing wind, and this is the less resistant rock. So due to this Yardang is formed. In short, these all are the forms of the erosional work of wind. Let us turn to the next point, depositional work of winds. Now sand particles that blow with the wind are of different shapes and size. We know it depends on the wind of the directions and the speed. So it is of different shapes and size. Those particles which are very fine are carried over larger distance, while the larger ones get transported to the shorter distances only, as it depends on their weight as well. If it is weighty, then it is able to travel very short distance. If it is very much light, then it can go far away. So these sand particles get deposited in a deserts and semi-arid climates. As a result, the specific landforms are formed. Now what are those landforms? Let us see the sand dunes, barkans, seeps, ripple marks, lowest plains, etc. These are formed by the wind depositions. Have a look. So these are the sand dunes. So dunes are formed due to the sand dunes are formed. It is the effect of the winds and its directions. You can see this is the example of sand dunes. Sand and the wind carrying the sands. Again it has a slip face. And the next, barkans. Barkans is also one of the types of sand dunes. Let us have a look how it is. Types of sand dunes. It is controlled by dominant wind directions and amount of sand. Then how much amount of sand it carries and what is the direction of the wind. It mostly depends on it. Now barkans is also one of the types of sand dunes. Barkans, now see if the wind direction from this side, how the barkans, that the dunes are formed, slip face and horn. In the second form we have a parabolic. Second, the parabolic, skip face, horn is beaches and blowout. It is on the seashore side, parabolic. Third is a slip face. It is a short tribe, that is a transverse, short dunes. And the fourth one is the longitudinal shape. So it is called as a longitudinal. So it affects by the winds. Sand dunes. Then next we have seeps. Now what is seeps? It is a multiple very long narrow parallel dunes. Just keep in mind, it is a multiple, many very long narrow parallel dunes. It may be caused in areas with at least two dominant wind directions, can be tens of miles long, commonly outside of US. So it is a multiple very long narrow parallel dunes, as it is caused by the winds coming from the two directions. So this is called as an example of seeps. Next we have ripple marks. So these are the ripple marks. If the wind flowing from the one side, the marks are formed in this way, current directions, and in second you can see the current directions. If it is on both sides, the pressure of winds gets sprayed, so these marks also getting sprayed. So these are the example of ripple marks. Then we have lowest plains. Lowest plain, the wind deposits unstratified loamy material or an extensive regions. It's keep on deposits. So this results in a formation of lowest plains. This is long lasting work of the wind. So these deposits include silt, clay and sand. So these things they keep on depositing and the lowest plains are formed. Now try to understand the various landforms produced by the work of winds with the help of your teacher. Now let us have a look and give it a try. Some pictures of landforms produced by the work of winds are given below. See the pictures and write in the box whether they have been formed by erosion or deposition. Now it is based on our information what we just learned. It is very easy to classify. Let us have a look. Now number 1 we have mushroom rock. So this is the picture of mushroom rock and it is the erosional work of wind. So you can write answer here. It is formed due to the erosional work of wind. Second we have sand dunes or barkans it is called. So it is the depositional work of wind. Now third we have ripple marks. The ripple marks it is formed due to the depositional work of wind. Again safe or sand mounds it is formed due to the deposition work of wind. So and the second last one is the Yardang. Yardang is the erosional work of wind. And last one is Hamda. It is formed due to the erosional work of wind. So these are the relevant answers for these pictures. Now find out where will you find the mushroom rocks in the Deccan Plateau. Now we know the Deccan Plateau we learned in the second lesson, third lesson. Now let us have the answer. So we will find mushroom rocks in the region of heighted rocks in the state of Maharashtra, Karnataka and Telangana in the Deccan Plateau. So Deccan Plateau is spread over these states Maharashtra, Karnataka and Telangana in the Deccan Plateau. Second, can you find the work of wind near coastal area? What landforms will be formed there? Of course we are able to find it. The work of wind near coastal areas. The work of wind can be found near coastal areas. The erosional, transportation and deposition work of sea waves is prominently responsible for formation of various landforms near coastal areas. The work of wind supports the work of sea waves in forming these landforms. Now let us continue with it. Now write the name of landforms with which the following diagrams are associated. Now these are the diagrams are given in the black and white. You need to color it and label it. Now color the eroded and the remaining part if any in the given diagram. Now number 1 diagram you can find it out. What is this? Now yes, this is the mushroom rock. Now second, the picture which I had already shown you, you can easily able to find it out. This is the nothing but the sand dune. Number third picture is of Yardang and number 4 is safe, that is sand mounds. So these are the 4 pictures and 4 answers are given. You can color it and label it accordingly. Okay, now till here we have completed this part, that is erosional deposition work of the winds and the landform which is produced out of it. So students, so let us continue with the next point, that is work of sea waves and the landforms on the page number 36. Now very opening you can see the figure. There is a landform at the sea coast. Various figures, the one figure is given in which the various landforms are explained. How it is made: the sea cliff, sea caves, wave cut platform, sea arc and sea stacks. Now what are those and how these things are formed? Let us learn. In coastal areas, sea waves carry out erosional, depositional and transportational work. So it is mainly at the coastal areas, the sea waves. It affects at the coastal areas and they perform this work of erosional, depositional and transportational work. Winds and tides cause the movement of seawater and as a result waves comes to the coast. So it is the result of the why the waves come to the coast. It is the effect of the winds and the tides which are pushing and causing it. Now because of their hitting the rocks at the coast, erosion of the rock occurs. They are continuously hitting the rock, continuously hitting the shore. So therefore the rocks which are available at the coast, they are getting heated and affected. Therefore this work is continuously going on. The hitting of the rocks at the coast, the erosion of the rocks occurs. In coastal areas having wide beaches, waves carry out depositional work. Where there are wide beach, so these waves carry out depositional work. Now let us see the next point, erosional work of sea waves. So here lies the point, erosional work of sea waves. Now when the waves break at the coast, they brings with them water, transported stones, pebbles, sand particles, etc. Remember the things which are brought by the waves. They brings with them ample amount of water, transported stones, pebbles, small sand particles, this etc. Now this leads to the erosion of the coast. This thing hampers for the erosional work. Now because of the chemical and hydraulic action of the sea waves too, and the hydraulic action of the sea waves too, so along with it there is one hydraulic action that also affects the waves. Now what are those hydraulic action? Now what is this hydraulic action? Now let us see. Now this is the hydraulic action. Now let us understand so much simple it is hydraulic action. It is the force of the waves hitting a cliff or a sea wall or the rocks which are present at the coast. Now it compresses of water and air into the cracks and joints. So what are the waves which are coming and hitting, it also comprises of water and as well as the air. So and when it hits, it gives a pressure and it is a continuous action. So this increase in the pressure may lead to the cracks widening and pieces of rocks breaking off. So that is the result that we found. Mainly it is the hitting work of the waves that breaks the stones or the rocks which are at the coast. So landforms like wave cut platform, sea caves, sea arcs, sea cliffs, etc. are formed because of the erosional work of the waves. Now what are these terms? Let us look at these terms. First of wave cut platform. Now here at this picture it is given this is the wave cut platform. You are able to see this wave cut platform. Even as well as in another picture it is also given wave cut platform. Now see, this is a plain platform that is formed and it is cut by the wave. Now what is exactly wave cut platform? Landforms formed due to the hitting of waves at the coast. Such platforms are formed at the base of the sea cliffs generally. So here we can find the sea cliffs at the top. Near to the left side here is a sea cliff and below the footstep of it we have the wave cut platform. Now next, sea caves. Now the sea caves. Here the small cave which is made by the hitting of the waves, this is called as a sea cave. Here one more example, it is given in the textbook itself. This is the sea cliff, sea caves. This is a very short cave actually, not exactly too much big except few. Sea caves are formed when sea waves hit the foot of the sea cliffs. Except few examples, these waves are not very deep one. Now next we have sea cliff. Let us see at the sea cliff. Now what is sea cliff? This is the sea cliff. Okay. Now it is the landform formed by erosional work of sea waves. Sometimes the hills extend up to the sea coast. The waves hit the base continuously. The rocks at the foot cliff starts eroding. Consequently, the upper rocks fall down as their foundation gets lost suddenly. So this leads to formation of sea cliff. Mostly wave cut platforms are seen at the base of the sea cliff. At the base of the sea cliff, we can easily find the wave cut platform, and this is the erosional work that is done by the wind as well as by the sea waves. So sea cliffs are formed. This is lagoon, wave cut platform, sea arc, and here we can find the sea waves. Here sea caves. So next part. Now what is the next term? Sea cliff. This is what we just saw, sea cliff. So sea arc. Now here the picture of sea arc, where landforms extend well into the sea. They get eroded and sea arcs are formed. They are found mostly in the regions having soft sedimentary rocks like sandstones or limestones. Wave hit the base of the headland and both the sides. The base part is eroded and with time sea arc is formed. Now we can see so many examples of the sea arc, how it is made due to the erosional work of the sea waves. See, is it visible to you? These are the beautiful views of the sea waves, sea arc. Now let us continue with the next point, depositional work of sea waves. The eroded materials accumulate at the seabed. Now because of tides, they keep on moving towards the coast. Now we are able to see the various material that are able to move. Because of the tides, they keep on moving towards the coast and away from the coast as well. They become fine because of attrition and hitting each other. So continuously attrition is going on and they are continuously hitting. So deposition of such materials occurs at the places where the effects of waves is less. So landform like beaches, sandbars, lagoons are formed due to the deposition work of sea waves. Now let us see these things. Now we are able to see the beaches. That is the deposition work of the sea waves. We always love to visit the beaches. What is beaches? Now the land between two headlands. Because of the headlands, coast is somewhat protected from the onslaught of the waves. Waves coming to the coast undergo refraction continuously. Because of this refraction, waves converge at the headlands. While they diverge between two headlands, consequently the energy stored in them also bifurcates. The transporting ability also get reduced and the sediments get deposited between the two headlands. As the process takes place continuously on the large scale, beaches are formed by deposition of sand. Beaches are generally concave to the sea. We always love to wander at the beaches. Let's see the beautiful view of the beaches. Now let us learn about the sandbar. The word itself clears the meaning. It is the bars of the sand. Okay, you can able to see through these various images. Now many landforms are produced due to deposition of sand on the sea coast. Beaches is one of them. The waves carry away the sand on the beaches, but this sand is not carried too far. It starts forming keep usage is an island parallel to the beach at a distance from the lowest level of the low tide. With time, these islands become larger and series of islands get formed. Such islands get connected to each other to form a sandbar. As their bars are parallel to the beach, they may give rise to lagoons, lake. You can see the sandbars, the various images. It is clearly visible and very well to understand. Now next term, lagoon. Let us learn about it. You can see the beautiful images of the lagoons. Now lagoons are commonly divided into coastal lagoons and atoll lagoons. Both the types of lagoons lakes are shallow and are separated from the main sea. You can see these are separated from the main sea. There is some distance from the main sea. Tides have no influence over them. Waves are also not very high. The coastal lagoons are formed due to the deposition of sand. So it is a continuous work of the deposition work of the sand. Therefore, the lagoons are formed. Atoll are separated from the main sea because of coral reef. That is atoll, which is land not near to the sea. That is atoll seas. Now see the beautiful images of the lagoons. Now students, just pay attention. Now just give it a try. Some pictures of landforms produced by the work of sea waves are given below. See the pictures and write in the box whether they have been formed by the erosion or deposition. So this is what we are going to see right now. Number 1, we have sea caves. Now how it is made we just learned. So sea caves are made, it is the erosional work of the sea waves. Due to the erosional work of sea waves, sea caves are made. And next we have lagoon. Lagoons are made due to the deposition work of sea waves. Again, the next we have a wave cut platform. These wave cut platforms are made due to the erosional work of sea waves. The next sea arc. These sea arcs, these are made by the erosional work of sea waves. Again, then next we have a sea cliff. This is the sea cliff, and it is the erosional work of sea waves. And the beaches are formed due to the depositional work of sea waves. And the next, sandbars are made due to the depositional work of sea wave. Okay, so you just mention this answer in the box which is given below and write it in your textbook. Now the next and the last part of this point, identify the landforms made by the waves and write their names in the given picture. So what we learned just right now, are you able to solve this on your own? It will be good if you solve it on your own, so it will be better for your understanding. So let us complete the last point of this point. So identify the landforms made by the waves and write their names. So just for your convenience, I just wrote here A, B, C, D, E, F, G, so that you are able to write those answers. Number 1A, it is a wave cut platform. So mention number A as a wave cut platform. Number B, you can see number B, it is the lagoons. There is nothing but the lagoons. Then C is number 3. These are nothing but the beaches. Okay. Then D, you have a sea cave. You can find the sea caves. The caves are made. Then E, you have a sea arc. There is arc is made. Then 6 C. Next F, you have sea stacks, and at last there is a sea cliff. So mention these answers. The work of groundwater and landform produced. The rainwater sits below the earth's surface through porous rocks or cracks in the rocks. This water accumulates in the non-porous layer of the rock. This accumulated water is called groundwater. The soluble minerals in the water get dissolved and flow with the groundwater. This is the erosional work of the groundwater. When the groundwater evaporates or volume of soluble minerals is more than the solubility of the groundwater, the deposition of dissolved material starts. So landforms like sinkholes, limestones, caves, stalactites and stalagmites are formed. Thus, the groundwater carries out the erosional, transportation, and depositional work. Now, what is sinkhole? A landform produced mainly in limestone region due to erosion. Limestone contains soluble materials in greater amounts. Such materials dissolve in water and are carried away by water. This process leads to formation of caves in this region. With time, the roof of the cave collapses and only a hole is visible on the ground. Such a hole produced naturally in the ground is called sinkhole. The water that flows on the surface mid appears to get lost in their holes. Stalactites and stalagmatites. The pillars form from alkaline deposits in the cave in limestone areas. Salts brought by flowing groundwater deposit in the caves. When water evaporates, when alkalis deposit, pillar starts growing either from the roof down or floor up of the cave. Those which grow from the roof towards the flood are called stalactites, while those which grow from ground towards the roof are called stalagmatites. Bora caves in Visakhapatnam district in Andhra are one of the major limestone caves in India. The groundwater table. The upper surface of the water accumulated below the ground is called the water table. Factors like seasons, porosity of rocks, amount of rainfall, etc. affect the level of water table. The water table is closer to the ground during rainy seasons, while it is deeper in the summers. Now let us continue with the same chapter. Now find out, where are limestone caves, stalactite and stalagmatites that found in Maharashtra? Actually, this type of cave found in Maharashtra at Karnar Plateau in Ahmednagar district in Maharashtra. Second question, why are the landforms formed in limestone called karst? Why do they call as a karst? Answer is, the karst is a limestone region located near Adriatic Sea. Many landforms formed in the limestone are found in this region. These landforms are studied on a large scale. Therefore, the landforms formed in limestone are called karst. Right. Now think about it next. Ramu has to dig a well in his farm, but he is in the dilemma as to which season he should dig so that there is a water supply for longer time. What will you suggest to Ramu? Of course, if he really wants a supply of water for a longer time, the better time is to dig well in the summer season, because in summer season the water level decreases, and the more deep he dig in summer will provide water supply for longer time, not only in winter but as well as rainy season, winter season, and as well as the summer season. So summer is the best time for him. Now think about it. Which agent has the most kinetic energy of all? Wind, river, or glacier? Actually, the wind has the most kinetic energy. It has the most impact other than these two. See the pictures of the landforms produced by the work of groundwater. Write in the box below them whether they are formed through the work of erosion or deposition. Number 1 is the sinkhole. The sinkhole are formed due to the erosional work of groundwater. So answer of first is erosional work of groundwater, and the second, stalactite and stalagmatite cave. So it is formed due to the depositional work of groundwater. So these are the answers for this. Now the last one, identify the landforms formed by the groundwater in the given diagram. So this is called the stalactite and stalagmite cave. In this way the lesson is over.